Well, Austria delivered once again with a sensational Grand Prix that had a little bit of everything, but most of all, the McLarens fighting at the front, and what I thought was Norris's best victory in Formula One so far. The race started with a little bit of a kerfuffle at turn 3. We saw it in Formula 2, Formula 3, and now Formula 1 with what seemed to be the first rookie mistake from Kimi Antonelli with a real dive bomb move that ended up ending his and Max Verstappen's race. Ludo van Denderen from GPBlog, you're here to talk through everything. What is the reaction from the ground at the Red Bull Ring for this incident at turn 1, which kind of changed the race for Mercedes and Red Bull?
Yeah, it did change the race for Red Bull and for Max Verstappen. But Kimi Antonelli, he made the mistake 2 weeks ago in Canada, his first podium, and today here in Austria, his first big rookie mistake. We talked to him during the race, by the way, and he said, well, I was trying to avoid crashing into Lawson, and then I went into Max. He went to Max. He went even into the Red Bull energy station to say sorry. Max said, well, these things happen. He's a great talent. Don't bother. And that's also something that Toto Wolff just said to us. Yeah, these things happen in Formula One, in racing. Max is the victim now. Nothing you can do about it.
Very mature thing to go through. Very good from Kimi. Learning experience. I remember Max, of course, had so many rookie crashes in his first year as well. So I'm sure we can see the talent that he is. Was there anything from Max further than this? Like, it's not very often that Max gets to skip a race. He's had quite an incredible run of successive Grand Prix finishes. Ended on the first lap in Austria. What was his day?
Well, he was pretty cool about it. He was not really angry. As I said, he talked with Kimi Antonelli. He heard the apology, but that it would really matter. He also talked about the championship. He never thought about the championship. But let's be honest, after this race, that championship dream is over. Even Christian Horner said that in his press moment. And there was also a good thing for Max, because he told the press that he didn't watch the race, but he watched the Spa 24 hours where his own GT team is driving. So he had an excuse now to look at that race. And he was even happy because I think they had a great result there in the series.
Couldn't have been any worse than what Red Bull had at the Red Bull Ring. An awful race for Verstappen and the team. But let's talk a little bit about the main event, if you like. It didn't end up exploding at the end like I thought it was going to, but it certainly delivered about 20 laps of action between teammates at the front of the race. It's not very often you get it in the way they did. Clean the entire time, action-packed. Oscar getting past, Lando fighting back. Really good racing. What's the thoughts on this McLaren battle? Alex Shake said it in the race. A track where we saw one of the worst T-boarders in the sport's history. We saw one of the best T-boarders to let them race here in Austria.
Yeah, this was really what the Bayer rules are. Andreas Seller said they can race, they can do whatever they want as long as they keep it clean. And they did keep it clean. There was no problem. And after the first stint, Lando was the better one, didn't put a foot wrong. And it was one of the best drive Lando had. Stella said also last week in Canada, he should have been on pole. He was the fastest driver in the race in Canada. So it's going to be a very close and tight championship for the rest of the year between two McLaren drivers, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. And Stella didn't want to say who's going to be favorite. He said, we'll see in Abu Dhabi. But if they're fighting like this, it can go either way, I think.
Tell you what, if they're going to fight like this for the remaining races of this season, I'm all for it. Even if it's a two-driver, one-car championship, it would be fantastic to see. Now, you mentioned Toto Wolff earlier in this recording, and I can't hear the word Toto Wolff and not have to ask you, what's the latest on his thoughts with the Max Verstappen situation?
Well, of course, he was asked about the contract situation again. He said he was also part of it becoming very big after the press conference from last Friday. The status of today was, he said, we're going to make a decision soon. I'm not a sadistic to let George Russell wait for months. He said in summer we'll make a decision. I asked him when in summer, and he said halfway through the summer break we'll announce who will be in the car. So that's, if you think about it, from now a month, 6 weeks from now.
Poor George Russell, though. It's still a little while to wait. But your thoughts, Ludo? Is it going to be Max Verstappen and Mercedes, especially at this race where he didn't even finish a race? Or do you think this is just Toto teasing us?
I think this is just Toto teasing us, and it's going to be George in the car. And I think Toto knows it also.
I have a sneaking suspicion that's the same. We saw Bernie Ecclestone on the podium, and he was a master of making sure that the sport stayed in the headlines. I do feel that Toto knows exactly what he's doing here. But we'll find out. Who knows? There could be the summer break with the silliest silly season we've seen in an age. So who knows what could happen? We'll find out soon enough. But Ludo, I know you've got a busy schedule. You've got still press commitments still to go through. So I'm going to let you go. I'm going to say thank you for bringing us all this insight from the Austrian Grand Prix weekend. GPBlog will be on the ground again at Silverstone with the British Grand Prix coming up next week. So we'll see you then. Thank you everybody else for watching.